And by the time our society, our civilization advances far enough to be able to build a superstructure like that, we'll probably also have mastered interstellar space travel. And at that point, 500 years from now, you will be sitting in your ship, zipping through the void of empty space to explore a black hole. One day, in your ship, you get tired. You notice that you should arrive at your destination in about 20,000 years. So you decide to take a 20,000-year-long nap. And as you lie down on your cryogenic bed, you very slightly bump your ship's accelerator. You don't even notice. After 20,000 years, you awake, fix yourself a cup of coffee, and you notice from your gravitational sensor that something is very wrong. You appear to be too close to the event horizon of your black hole. You look out the window and you see an enormous, profoundly black disk in space. The light from the stars and galaxies behind it, twisted and deformed. You stare into the center of this void, a cosmic eye staring back at you, and it's the emptiest thing you've ever seen. Your jaw drops and your eyes widen, and then you realize that you're not sure if you've passed the event horizon yet, the point of no return. You double check your gravitational sensor, and it says, you're not there yet. You have 5 seconds to blast away. You jump from your chair, leaping toward the controls for the rocket, spilling your hot coffee on your hands, burning your fingers. You scream and fall to the ground. And by the time you get up, it's too late. You're passing the event horizon of a black hole. You nearly stop breathing. Your mouth feels like sand. And you close your eyes. You can't believe that this could possibly be happening. You open your eyes and look out the window again, and everything looks about the same. The disk is getting a little larger, but otherwise, everything is the same. You feel the same. Nothing is different. You think maybe your estimate was wrong. Maybe there's still time to escape. You triple check your gravitational sensor, and no matter which direction you point it, it says you're pointing toward the center of a black hole. And then you know for sure you've passed the event horizon. You are inside a black hole? A calm terror settles over you. How did you get in this situation? Very slowly, while you were asleep, the conditions of the universe around you were changing, nearly imperceptibly. And then suddenly, it was too late. Floating in your ship inside of a black hole, what do? You might start thinking of possible escapes. I mean, you know logically it's impossible to go back outside of a black hole, but you think maybe there's something you missed. You go through all the options. I mean, maybe all the clever scientists were wrong and there's some way to escape that hadn't been anticipated. You start fantasizing that maybe if you just wait long enough or you just get lucky, you will eventually pass back over the event horizon and it could zoom away from the black hole, back to the way things were, back to the world you once knew. And as you're fantasizing, you look down and you see that your feet are drifting away from you, and your legs are being stretched into long, thin, spaghetti-like strands. And then suddenly, your shoes are so far away that you can't see them anymore. And in that split second, before you reach the center, you realize 2 things. One, that no one really knows what happens in the center of a black hole. And 2, there is no going back. The only way out is directly through the black hole. Sometimes reality becomes twisted, seemingly beyond recognition. And right now, as the oceans burn and the global temperature rises, and as literal fascists have returned to our politics, and as so many of us are dead from a mismanaged pandemic, you would be forgiven for thinking that we had fallen into a societal black hole. In retrospect, it happened so slowly, almost imperceptibly, while so many of us were asleep. And then everything changed. But just like in a black hole in space, the only way out is through. Our current societal black hole is a golden opportunity to construct a better world and to think in radical new ways to do so. But we'll need to dig deep, very deep, just like when we study a black hole in space. If we were able to go to a black hole in space or create one in the laboratory, we would be able to study the fabric and structure of space-time to understand what creates these twisted vortices. And right now, we can use the current contemporary situation to collectively understand and study the fabric of society itself, to understand what leads to these societal black holes. How do the social structures that we have around us lead to such societal black holes? And how can we upend them? For example, there's more than one reason why we should consider building a large collider, a circular collider around the moon. The first is scientific. I want to know what amazing discoveries might be in this data, even though I'll be long dead. We'll all be long dead by the time this thing ever starts taking data. Because such discoveries, like understanding quantum gravity, could completely change our perspective on reality. But there's another reason. Our society is addicted to repeating its mistakes. And right now, we seem to be on the verge of simply giving space, the moon and Mars, to wealthy private individuals and corporations whose only interests are extraction, exploitation, and profit. This is bad. Because this extractive and exploitative mindset here on Earth is leading to the destruction of humanity due to anthropogenic climate change. Instead of allowing encouraging a moon rush, for example, the moon should be protected in perpetuity against commercial exploitation. And a project like this, a circular collider on the moon, sounds insane, but it's a project that's mounted solely because our species is curious about nature. Centering projects like this, when we explore anything, not just space, but anything humanity explores, centering projects like this would remind us that the moon belongs to everyone. The moon belongs to everyone. Space belongs to everyone. We need to finally definitively abandon systems, for example, that lead to situations where a few dozen individuals can have as much wealth as billions of the rest of us combined. We need to abandon these systems. If that sounds impossible to you, keep in mind, gravity creates black holes, and gravity is simply a law of nature. But the social, political, and economic structures that lead to societal black holes, that lead to things like extreme wealth inequality, racist policing, or climate emergencies, these are not laws of nature. They're human-made, which means they can be human unmade. We need to finally find the courage to unmake these structures. We owe it to future humans because, of course, it won't be you 500 years from now traveling to a black hole to explore it up close. It's up to us to fix our societal inequities, and it's up to us to make sure that humanity isn't crushed into oblivion so that your great, 25 greats granddaughter can push forward into the unknown to understand better humanity's place in this vast universe. Thanks.